we have an amazing person that has come to train us tonight, and I'm so grateful. She's an early bird like me, so I think that this is probably her bedtime or close to her bedtime or the time that she's bringing it all down. But she has agreed to do this training for us, and she deserves a proper introduction. And that person is Jamie Cantrell. So Jamie is a Division I full scholarship soccer player. I used to recruit these people in med device all the time. That tells I know all I need to know right there. And that's amazing. I know she's a go-getter. I know she probably doesn't mess around very much. She just she knows how to get it done. And she is a 4-year starter, team captain for a nationally ranked Lady Mustang team. And she played Division I NCAA. She professionally spent I missed something. I'm sorry. All Western Athletic Conference player and all WAC student athlete, Final Four. Professionally, she spent several years in corporate America in marketing for Wyndham Hotels and Resorts at the corporate level. And she transitioned to education and coaching. She taught and she coached for 12 years at Ursuline Academy of Dallas as head varsity coach. She won 4 consecutive, holy cow, 9. She won 9 consecutive state titles. Texas Coach of the Year at TAPS. Ursuline was nationally ranked in the top 10 for both public and private schools, 7 of the 9 years while she was there. She's been married for 18 years to Sean Cantrell, who is also a collegiate athlete. She has 3 children, a stepdaughter who is a 26-year-old ER nurse at Parkland Hospital, Caden, who's 14, Kellen, who's 12, 2 Labradors, Zeke and Boomer. It is my pleasure to turn this over to Jamie Cantrell for her amazing training on focusing on the beliefs, the benefits of the benefits.
Well, you're a hard ticket to follow. You're so well spoken, and I could just hang on to your every word. So thank you. It's always a little awkward to hear your resume being read out loud, but I do want to preface this by saying my 2 dogs are here. So if they bark, I apologize. I tried to shoo them away, but they're very attached to mom. I want to start off with a funny story about Zoom. It has nothing to do with our topic, but I love to make people laugh. Last night was our team's virtual Christmas party, and we were playing a game called Naughty and Nice. Don't let your minds wander, all of you guys, don't let them wander. But one of the questions, and I have a team of, a lot of moms with young kids, and I didn't preface this or even look to see if there were any children in the room. And I listed off one of the quote unquote naughty things is, as a parent, have you moved the elf? Have you forgotten to move the elf? Well, one of my team members' children was in the room who still believes in the elf. And if you don't know what the elf is, you're not missing anything. But on our team Christmas call, I think I ruined Christmas for my team member's child. So on that note, I want you to know I mess up more than I do well. I make more mistakes than anybody else. So I want us to be in a place of conversation. And what I'm going to talk to you about tonight is so relevant because I made every one of these mistakes. And I'm still learning. But my name is Jamie Cantrell. I will never say middle-aged, but I'm a middle-aged mama. I am multitasker, multi-purpose, multi-kids, but my passion is coaching the curious and connecting them to something greater. And I will tell you, this community is something greater. You're here tonight because you want something greater. And I'm really proud of you for showing up. You didn't have to. You really didn't, but you did. And that tells me that there's something inside of you that wants to be greater, wants to have more, do more, give more, be more. And so on that note, my promise is to honor you in your time tonight. And my goal, and show of hands for those that I can see, how many of you would love to create more leads for your business, more customers, generate more conversations, network better, add more team members, increase your team members' paychecks, and by default, increase your paycheck? I think I see a lot of hands going up, and I'm excited about that because 9 years ago, I was in a season, and Christy, I really appreciate your candor and your transparency about your hesitation with the industry. I love that vulnerability, but 9 years ago, I was in a place where my friends started to get divorced and my parents were on the verge of getting divorced. And I had recently transitioned home to raise my children because as a teacher and a coach, I was spending more time with other people's kids than my own. And there was something inside that hurt. So I came home, but I went through a season of self-discovery, identity loss. I didn't know who I was outside of being Caden and Kellen's mom. And hear me when I tell you, it's the greatest job I've ever had. is being their parents. But as I'm starting to witness the world around me, I couldn't help but ask the questions. I'm codependent on my husband's financial income. Where does that leave me? I'm not protecting myself. So I began to get curious about ways to create that financial independence. It's important. It's actually one of my greatest missions right now, is to empower people to create not only several avenues of income, but if you don't have any, to create one to make sure you're okay. Right. And if anything, the world has shown us right now is that it's not only smart, but it's needed to create multiple avenues of income. But I will tell you, I was in this position. Our pediatrician had recommended Juice Plus to us. As an athlete, the irony is it lost on me. I had no idea how to eat. I ate poorly. And so I landed in this community because my health was compromised. My kids' health were compromised, but I got excited about the business. And a question was asked of me 9 years ago, and I'm going to ask each one of you this. If time, money, or resources were of no objection, what would you do? I didn't have an answer to that question. And I also didn't have an answer to how was I going to support myself should something happen, right? I remember Catherine Lee, when she spoke on this, should have. We don't want to should have on people, right? And so, but I began to ask these questions. And so saying yes, and I want you to hear this. I'm proud of you for being here. I'm proud of you for being a network marketing professional, because saying yes to this industry means you are saying yes to a vehicle that allows people to create whatever it is that they want to create. You're allowing that opportunity and you have that power, but it does not come without challenge. I want you to hear this. This is hard work. I have faced a lot of challenges in my own business, but this is what I will tell you. It's better. I would rather face those challenges and create, grow, expand, and help others do the same in my house, in my sweatpants, as opposed to being on the diamond watch of somebody else. And this is a life well lived. I tell you this, I shout it from the rooftop. So my promise to you tonight, if you have those same aspirations, is to help you be better at how you market. All right? Because when I joined this business, I want you to know, I had no sales experience. I had no idea what network marketing was. I thought a pyramid was kind of scary. I remember at my first event, y'all, this is hilarious. Terry Luongo is my upline and she did the event for me. I just stood there like a little deer in headlights. And I remember telling all of the people that I had invited, I think I had 17, 20 people there, please don't feel like you have to buy anything. I don't want you to think I'm that person. I literally said those words, literally did. I remember also that I told Terry when she started to have some honest conversations with me about money, I told her, I don't want to make money off my friends or family. That seems disingenuous. Then I remember being that person that hid behind a computer and posted online, DM me for more information, come on and try it. I was verbal vomiting Juice Plus on all my friends and family. And it took a courageous friend of mine who did not buy product from me. He wrote me and he said, listen, Jamie, I realize that you really love Juice Plus. That's great, but could you stop? And ooh, that was like a check to my spirit, but it woke me up and I'm so grateful. I actually called him not too long ago and I thanked him for that. It set the record straight. So I'm going to give you 5 challenges based off of my poor experience, 5 challenges that I want you to take home with you. And over the holidays, when you're sick of your in-laws or you're needing something to do, I want you to spend some time in these 5 challenges, because they're the 5 challenges that I continue to challenge myself with every single day. All right. The reason why I'm challenging, so that people will buy what you're selling and they will join your team. It's really that simple. So challenge number 1 begins with a story. And I think all of us can relate to this kind of story. Several years ago, I was a mom of young kids. And you guys know that you can't even go to the bathroom by yourself when you have small children. Like taking a shower is the greatest luxury in the world, right? And so there was this one afternoon where I had a couple of hours where I had a sitter and I was going to the mall. This is pre-COVID, right? Going to the mall, and it was like the sun was parting through the clouds. The rays were, I had time. I didn't know what to do with myself. So I went into the mall, and how many of you, this makes me giggle as I think about it, how many of you have walked by these mall kiosks, whether it is phone covers or bows or now, ornaments. There was a skincare kiosk. And I can't tell people no. When I go to the grocery store and the Girl Scouts are outside selling cookies, like I will just give them money, even if I don't buy the cookies, because I can't tell people no. But this one kiosk at the mall, there was this gentleman, and I was walking and I clearly did not make eye contact with him because that's code for like, don't talk to me, right? But he got a hold of me. He got my attention and he said, do you want to try this? I'm like, oh no, thank you. Remember, small amount of time, I had things to do. And so he kept persisting. He's like, no, you really should try it. It's great. It's this and that. I don't even remember what he said, but this is the point that got me. He said, ma'am, you really should probably try this because for those bags underneath your eyes. I was so insulted in that moment. I knew in that moment that his motivation was for pure profit and gain for himself. How would you ever speak to or act like that to a potential customer, right? And I got this feeling of absolute ick, like sales suck. That was what I was thinking in that moment. How many of you can probably think about a story that you have in your brain right now that reminds you that sales are icky? Show of hands if you have had an experience or you have that reel in your brain. And how many times do you play that reel when it comes to you selling Juice Plus, the product or the business? Somehow it creeps into your from your subconscious to your frontal lobe, and you say to yourself, oh, I can't do this, because you have the wrong reel playing in your mind. So challenge number one is, and listen, for your team members too, when you bring on a new team member and they tell you, I don't want to be salesy or pushy, it's because they have a negative reel inside their head. And the greatest gift we can give them is to change the reel. But here's how we start. Challenge number one, do a self-audit. And what I mean by that is when someone asks you what you do for a living, what do you say? If you heard me in my introduction, I say I coach the curious and I connect them to something greater, because that's what I do. Whether it's for the product or for the business, that's my belief. What is your mission statement? Because when you say, oh, I sell Juice Plus or I share, that one gets me. I share Juice Plus. No, actually, you sell it. And if you tell people you share it, they're going to sniff out manipulation. They're going to sniff out the fact that we sell a product, we sell a business. If there's a credit card exchange of any kind for a good or service, by definition, you are a salesperson. So do a self-audit. What do you tell people you do? Second question, when you are in conversation with a potential customer or team member, who does most of the talking? Is it you or is it them? Third question, when you are posting online and using social media, do you reek of commission breath? And what I mean by that is, are you using slimy verbiage? DM me for more information, private message me for more. That kind of conversation, it turns people off, because nowhere in that conversation is your focus on them. So challenge number one, do a self-audit. Challenge number two, I'm going to read this newspaper clipping real quickly for you to help you understand where I'm going with this. Note to self, what is my purpose in life? I asked the void. What if I told you that you fulfilled it when you took an extra hour to talk to that kid about his life, said the voice. Or when you paid for that young couple in the restaurant. Or when you saved that dog in traffic. Or when you tied your father's shoes for him. Your problem is that you equate your purpose with goal-based achievement. The universe isn't interested in your achievements, just your heart. When you choose to act out of love, kindness, and compassion, you are already aligned with your true purpose. No need to look any further. This business is one of the most highly emotional businesses, emotional revenue on fire. We work with friends, with family, and our job is to network, to build relationships. And you do so through trust. And that's a good thing because, excuse me, people often make purchasing decisions based on emotions, not on facts, and certainly not to suffice your business. So let me repeat this. When a person is emotionally connected to what you're offering, that's the first step. Far too often I hear from team or from people in the field, I just don't know what to say or to send to that person. And you spend half a day looking up a video or half a day looking up research. The reality is you have no idea what they're looking for. You haven't asked. The reality is you need to get to know your audience. Who is that person? Who is their family? Do they have kids? What is their life like? Do they work? What do they do? What keeps them up at night? What are the things that they Google? When it comes to health, what is important to them? And if you make that person more important by giving them your heart, you will never feel like a salesperson. I really want that point to resonate. Stop studying our product. Stop studying our compensation plan and start studying your customer and your potential team member. Challenge number 2 is understanding who you're speaking to. You've heard it called an avatar or a target market. I actually have a name for my person, and her name is Allison. She's a middle-aged mom like me. She has 3 kids that play sports. She is always on the go. She is tired. She doesn't take care of herself. But one day she says, I'm going to go on that vacation. One day I'm going to have time for the people I love. That's my avatar, and that's who I speak to. Who is yours? Give it a name. Challenge number 3, and this is where I'm going to spend most of the time, because this to me is the biggest sales killer when it comes down to this simple point. We're going to talk about features versus benefits. We are network marketers. Networking means having lots of people, but we are also marketers. And marketing, by definition, is the action of promoting or selling a product or service. So by definition, it's our jobs to be better marketers. Even if you don't have any background, that's okay, because there is so much to learn from this simple truth. In marketing, when you fail to clearly communicate why your potential customer or team member should care about what you're selling, they don't care. They won't buy. If you don't make it clear to them why they should, why does it matter to them? Why should they take the time to stop and scroll on your page? Why should they take the time to pick up the phone and have a conversation with you? The number one problem that businesses, or like us, independent contractors, make is we do not clearly communicate what's in it for them. So let's talk about that. How does that show up? What tends to happen, and I've done it before, and I'm learning to undo that, is we focus on the features of either our product or our business and not the benefits. So what's a feature? The feature is what the product is made of. It's the ingredients, the colors, the fruits and vegetables, how many, it's what it is. It's a feature. The benefit is what it does for that customer. How does it make their life better? What value does it bring? The features enable the benefits. That's just good science. But the features isn't so much what your potential customer cares about at first. They care about how it will benefit them. They want to know what the end result is. And I'm going to use, since tomorrow we are launching this new product, and you can tell I've already used it. Perform, big day tomorrow. I'm going to encourage you not to put up the bag and say launching today. Because you know what? Nobody really cares. Nobody cares what our goal is, right? Well, let's talk about what are the features, right? The features of this product, how many of you know, in the chat button, already comment what some of the features are of this product. And if you don't know, that's okay, because it's a new product, but it is our job as reps to know. Feature is 25 grams of protein, 6 grams of sugar. It is plant-based, non-GMO, dairy-free, gluten-free. Those are the features of this product. It's what it's made of. The benefits, as I'm seeing, Christy put more energy, better muscle recovery, better muscle growth. Those are benefits. People want to know, if I'm going to buy this Perform on December 15th, what's in it for me? All right. So how do you, as a network marketer who, and I see it all the time, the capsules in someone's hands, the gummies in someone's hands. Look at me, I got 30 different fruits and vegetables in today. What does that message say? Are we talking features or are we talking benefits, right? We're talking features. How do you transition from being someone who markets features to someone that markets the benefits? Here's a phrase that I absolutely love. So you can. Imagine Perform. Let's go back to Perform. I love this new plant-based protein shake mix, 25 grams of protein, so I can recover faster from my workout. Hashtag no more soreness. If someone were to look at that post and they just got done with a workout the day before and they're sore, don't you think you're going to grab their attention? Or you have a friend that has a teenage boy that is dire need of building muscle. How many of you, that's my space. If I were just to put up 25 grams of plant protein, that might not mean anything to them. But I could put up, so excited about this new plant-based protein, 25 grams, so that my young athletes can really aid and assist in building muscles. Hashtag, that's what's important to them. Do you see the difference? So are you someone that markets the features of our product or our business? Or are you someone that markets the benefits? Now, I will tell you, I'm not going to trash features. Features are important. Us as representatives, here's another homework assignment. Do you know all the features of our products? Can you tell what the Trio, the Omega, the Complete Shakes, do you know what the features are? That's our responsibility. And here's the good news. That's all we need to know. If you ever have a rep that comes in and says, I need to learn so much more before I can be able to sell. Actually, the only thing you need to know are the features. The rest takes care of itself. All right. So challenge number 4. And I promise we're wrapping up here pretty quickly, but I hope this is helpful to you. Show of hands who's already processing what their social media post is going to look like tomorrow for the launch of Perform. Okay. So challenge number 4 is called Meet Bob. Bob stands for benefits of the benefits. This is where we level up and get really creative. This is the fun. Remember Allison, my avatar. Who's yours, right? You get the idea of features. You get the idea of benefits. Now we talk benefits of the benefits. This is so fun, you guys. Perform, okay? The benefit is it aids and assists in muscle recovery. We've already addressed that. The benefit of the benefit might look and feel something like this. Man, tough leg day yesterday. That used to mean for me a day that I walked around like a newborn baby deer. Hashtag soreness sets in. Drinking Perform helps me walk normal. Seriously, that if someone read that, I hope they would laugh. Fun duplicates, have fun, lighten up. But I'm spelling out the benefit of these benefits in this product. You start to market online that way. You start to show up in conversation that way. And I love the phrase, hey, remember when? Hey, remember when you told me your kids don't eat fruits and vegetables? How does that look like for you? Remember when, remember when. And that's when I can connect the benefits of the benefits. Hey, remember when you were telling me your son Danny is playing football this year and he's skinny and he wants to add weight? I've got this great shake, 25 grams of protein, so that it aids in muscle growth and repair. Is that of interest to you? The conversation changes when you talk about the benefits of the benefits. Listen, there's a book that I want you guys to read in your off time. It's called Story Brand by Donald Miller. And it really, really focuses on this principle, because here's what I know. If you don't begin to market to your customer based on their needs, wants, desire, if you don't make them the hero, you don't address what's important to them, people will not buy your product and they will not join your team. People don't always buy the best product or join the best team. They buy what's clear, they buy what's simple, and they buy what they know the benefit is for them right away. And the Story Brand author is Donald Miller. Reminds me of Can't Buy Me Love, that movie, Ronald Miller. You guys remember that one? Okay, sorry, side note. All right, last one, challenge number 5. And this is probably my favorite one, is be human. Just be human. Treat others how you want to be treated. People before profit, paycheck, promotion. And understand, I'm not telling you to not have a business goal or plan. I'm telling you to, yes, that's important. But here are things I hear in the profession of network marketing that make it sleazy. And sleazy does not always translate to easy. When people say, and don't beat yourself up if you say this, because I'm not trying to pick on you, I've said it myself. I just got a customer. I need to get a new team member. We don't get people. We don't own them. You have brought a new family into this community. You have brought a new person into a better way of doing things, right? I've heard people say, you know, I need to do this, or I have to do something salesy at the end of the month so that I can get my promotion. Don't you think your audience can smell when it becomes about your promotion and your paycheck? If someone's not ready to buy, it means we haven't done a good enough job educating them on the benefits of the benefits. They're not buying from you. They're not responding to your social media. They're ghosting you because they have not seen the value yet. So the responsibility is on us. If we get into this urgency the last few days of the month to close it up and we become desperate, that reeks. It reeks of, and that's the sales, the icky sales that go on in your brain, the things that you don't like out there in the world. And actually some of the bad rap about network marketing. So be human. If someone's not ready, ask more intelligent questions. Be curious, be kind, and be human. So that's all I've got for tonight. I hope these 5 challenges will carry you through the holiday season. I hope they've sparked some curiosity, and I hope to see tomorrow when you post that it's not about the features, but it's about benefits. Love and hugs.
Sorry, I had to mute myself. That was amazing. Thank you so much. It was so great to hear all of this from you. I've heard bits and pieces from other people. And if you wouldn't mind just hanging out for maybe just 5 more minutes, could I ask a couple questions?
Absolutely.
You dropped so many pearls in there, and I know that there's a lot of new people on, or maybe the people that have just are stuck in their business. And how you described how you started it is so real, where your upline is presenting and you're like, man, I don't want you to see me. And now we're hiding behind Zoom. And what was the first step, or how did you get from being somebody who would tell people, I don't want you to buy anything from me, you don't have to buy anything, to where you are now? I mean, at some point you had to shift, and you had to start interacting, and you had to start asking for the sale. Can you talk a little bit about that process?
Absolutely. If you start to the words of David Beavers, who's also one of my uplines, his famous words are pay attention. And when you pay attention to the people around you, you start to see some consistency, whether it is with their health, whether it is with they're not happy in their jobs. There was a pattern of behavior that kept popping up. And as I increased my knowledge of the features of our product and the features of the business, When I became educated, education provides confidence. How many of you listening right now can confidently talk about the benefits of this business?
Mm.
And so actually it was my husband who challenged me. And he had an honest conversation with me. And that's when I began to go to Eric Worre.
Mhm.
I started, you have to be a student because complacency is the cousin of death. And you have to be a constant student to get better at your craft. And we sell. And so to get better at selling, you've got to know your features. You've got to know your audience. And when you kind of start to get a real grasp on that, it's a game changer. So
Yeah.
that was it for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. If, like you said, going back to, if you're just human, if you just, and you just listen and you pay attention, the pain point is going to identify itself of if which direction you're going to go, product, business, and how you're going to introduce this, what questions to ask. So Jamie, you know, when people first start, they want to go fast, right? And we want them as leaders, we want them to go fast. And that can kind of get you into a position of focusing on the features and selling the product. So can you give any advice about that? How do you, even though you want to go fast, how can you go fast but still not come across that way? Is it more conversations? Is it, you know?
You have to develop your own cadence and your own rhythm, but there's a quote that I love: quick but under control. Have a sense of urgency, right? But also understand that what your responsibility is to do. And that responsibility is always keep the customer at the hero of your story.
Yeah.
Always. And so I think if you're finding yourself in a situation where you want to move fast and maybe you have, or maybe it's not moving fast enough, you need to go back and reevaluate the conversations, the quality of conversations, how many you're having, and make sure that you're providing a deliverable of value add to others.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah, no, that's great. So if I could just recap, what you're saying is, you know, some people need to have more conversations because not everybody's ready to purchase at that time. And you may need to spend more time adding value and creating a relationship and identifying what that pain point is, because you may not even know how to present the product yet because you don't know enough about that person.
Right.
So some people you may look at a post, you may know from a previous conversation, you may know exactly where you're going to go. Other people, it may take a couple conversations before you're in a position to do that, but the amount of conversations can certainly help.
Absolutely.
Help you go faster. Jamie, can you talk about a pivotal event that has changed something for you, whether it was your belief or a part of your business? Do you have anything that comes to mind, a particular event, small, large, either one?
Well, you know, originally I was thinking about this question because you kind of shared that the power of events are important, no doubt. And I changed my answer because the first Beyond Leadership event I went to with Eric Worre got me out of the Juice Plus bubble and exposed me to possibility. Our community is great. I mean, we have so many great leaders and so much possibility, but going outside, spending the money, when you have a personal investment, that means you're serious. Spending with people that were doing it better than I was. These are 6- and 7-figure earners at the time. I needed to sit at the feet of people that were doing it better than me. And I learned from that. I learned from Eric and I learned from them. And that was huge for me because in my mind, I was able to say, if they can do it, so can I. But it also showed the true potential of this industry. And sometimes we get so landlocked in our own little world that we don't see what else is out there. So that would be my level of encouragement. The first Beyond Leadership event that I went to outside of Juice Plus changed the way I looked at this business.
Yeah. That's something similar happened to me when I just with GoPro. I haven't done Beyond Leadership, and then just all the stories, the stories, and it makes you really both see the potential, but also see where you can level up as well in your own business. So thank you so much, Jamie. It was a true pleasure to get the opportunity to meet you and to have you pour into us. You are one of the best in the industry. We really were very serious about who we chose to be on these calls because we want the extension, all these calls, as well as everything that happens in that Eric Worre studio, to be the best of the best. And your name just kept coming up when we were thinking about leaders. So thank you so much, Jamie. Is your team planning on attending the Level Up?
yeah, in fact, today I run a contest called the 12 Days of Joy. And for those who watch this call tonight or watch the recording, I'm drawing from we call it the Joy Jar. I'm gifting members of my team to come to a January event. So yes, we have members that are signed up. I have tickets. I'm having people at home, but I'm also making sure the best gift I want to give to Christmas is the opportunity for them to continue to learn and get better.
Love that. Thanks again. Thank you so much.